Regarded as both the largest shark to have ever lived on Earth and one of the largest vertebrate predators in history, the Megalodon was freaking huge. Reconstruction using jaws and other fossilized remains suggests that megalodons probably reached maximum lengths of up to 54 feet, around 3 times larger than great whites. They roamed the seas from around 28 million years ago until they became extinct by the end of the Pliocene, when the planet entered a phase of global cooling some 2.6 million years ago. The cooling of the planet may have contributed to the extinction of the giant predator in a number of ways. As the adult sharks were dependent on tropical waters, the drop in ocean temperatures resulted in a significant loss of habitat. It may also have resulted in the megalodon's prey either going extinct or adapting to the cooler waters and moving to where the sharks could not follow. In spite of the abundance of evidence that indicated the extinction of the last of the megalodon, there is still a small but a local holdout of people who believes that the monster shark still lives in deep oceans. Why do they say this? And is the scariest shark to have ever lived really alive? That's what we're going to discuss in this video, so make sure you stay with us right till the end to find out the reality. Let's get started. Are the megalodons really surviving in deep sea? Proponents of this theory often resort to the flimsy at best evidence, logical fallacy, and even outright falsehoods to prop up this misguided belief. One common argument made by the frequently cited fact that very little of the deep ocean has yet been mapped and charted, and that we don't know for sure what might exist in the uncharted open ocean. This is a frustrating non-argument and a logical fallacy at that. Because it's impossible to prove the non-existence of something, the opposite must be true according to the theorists. The problem is that this argument can be extended beyond the megalodon to everything from fairy tale sea serpents to aliens to anything you really want it to fit. In reality, it doesn't prove anything. Another common argument they present is the large animals that took a while to be discovered by scientists, such as the giant squid. However, these creatures have had their remains wash up on shore and have been caught in fishing vessels and have been observed by sailors for decades, if not centuries. Despite their elusiveness, their existence was not in question, because tangible evidence of their existence has been known even before a full specimen has been observed and recorded by the scientific community. Additionally, the living fossil species, such as the coelacanth, are often displayed as examples of supposedly extinct species that prove to be alive as well. Now, this proof only shows the debaters' lack of understanding of evolution and phylogeny. While the modern coelacanth superficially bears extreme resemblance to its ancient Cretaceous ancestors, biologically it has undergone extensive adaptation, changing from a freshwater swamp fish to a deep coastal cave fish. In fact, it is a separate genus and species from its ancestors. Even if scientists consider the megalodon had adapted and evolved to suit a new environment, it would be an entirely different organism in the eyes of science. There's no way megalodons are still alive. Megalodon fossil remains disappear from the fossil record approximately 2 to 3 million years ago. There is absolutely no evidence in the fossil record of any species descended from a megalodon, something that we should be seeing if, in fact, the megalodon had any living descendants. The only evidence that scientists have ever discovered of megalodon's existence has been fossils, which point to it being somewhere around 2 to 3 million years old. According to the ecological experts, the megalodon no longer truly exists in today's oceans, and the next closest predatory niches are currently occupied by toothed whales and other sharks, of which we have seen an abundance of evidence of their existence and behavior. Megalodon was a coastal macropredator shark. Even if by sheer coincidence humans had never come into contact with a successful cosmopolitan shark that exceeds 50 feet in length, we most certainly would have encountered half-eaten whales and other large marine organisms with telltale signs of a megalodon attack. They would likely beach themselves accidentally on warm water beaches all over the world. We would see them eating whales regularly, and we would certainly come across their nurseries in shallow, warm oceans worldwide. As stated previously, no megalodon fossils appear in the fossil record beyond the mid-Pliocene, 2.5 to 3 million years ago. There exist no specimens that show any descendancy from the megalodon. Many megalodon theorists will respond to criticism of their beliefs by proposing that extant megalodon specimens may have evolved to become deep ocean predators. Some even claim that megalodon now makes its home in undersea trenches. There is no evidence for this whatsoever. The megalodon was a specialized apex predator. According to evolutionary theory, evolution trends towards specialization, but specialists trend towards extinction. Scientifically, what this saying means is that evolution favors specialists, organisms that evolve to become very good at few things. However, when something big disrupts an environment, specialists are usually the first organisms to crash in population numbers or completely go extinct. This is because specialists have various difficulties in adapting to sudden environmental changes, such as a global drop in ocean temperature. It is highly unlikely that a specialized apex predator like the megalodon could have evolved into becoming a deep ocean predator. Direct evidence for the existence of living megalodons. All of it is bunk. Now, physical evidence is shocking, but occasionally megalodon theorists will put forward some fossil or a tooth claiming that it represents much more recent megalodon activity than the 2.5 million years ago extinction age. For example, the supposed dating on the New Caledonia teeth. These are in fact real megalodon teeth, dredged up from the South Pacific near New Caledonia. But due to radiometric dating, now deemed invalid, they were incorrectly dated to 15 to 25,000 years old. However, when dated through modern radiometric dating techniques, the real age was found to be between 3.5 to 15 million years old. In recent years, some supposed scientific communication outlets, such as the Discovery Channel, have whipped up something of a sensationalist frenzy regarding sharks. A photograph was presented in a documentary showing the dorsal and caudal fins of a shark next to a submarine, spanning a whopping 64 feet. This photo stirred up a lot of controversies. However, the image was fabricated and the documentary was in fact a mockumentary, which was stated in a very small disclaimer at the end. Plus, 64 feet is larger than the estimates of the entire body of megalodons. This was only dorsal fin to tail. The scientists that appeared in this documentary, entitled Megalodon, the Monster Shark Lives, were also actors. Sorry. Sketches of huge sharks that washed up on beaches many years ago were also most likely either exaggerated great whites or basking sharks. Who knows for sure? But you certainly can't rely on a drawing as evidence. Sorry, but that's not how science works. Eyewitness accounts are also extremely unreliable, particularly when dealing with rotting or decomposing animals. To the untrained eye, a whale shark or a basking shark could look like some kind of a giant great white. It's an easy mistake to make, isn't it? For example, in 1977, a Japanese fishing trawler dredged up a mysterious, unidentifiable carcass. A picture was taken before it was tossed overboard and was brought to scientists for analysis. While many conspiracy theorists would have believed that this carcass was evidence of a surviving prehistoric sea monster, the scientific community concluded handily that it was the carcass of a basking shark. So, the mighty megalodon is no longer alive and kicking. The science, that is, the real science behind this topic, shows us that beyond a shadow of a doubt, these megalodon sharks died out in the Pliocene period, 2.5 to 3 million years ago. The water it swam in is cooler than it would like. The mid-sized whales it relied upon for food went extinct, leaving it without a food source, and the ancestors of modern great white sharks and killer whales outcompeted it for what was left. We're sure most people are happy with the idea that these giant sea monsters are now extinct, and we're lucky to be living in a world without these massive marine predators living very close to the coast. But for the few individuals that are still hopeful they exist, we hope this is enough to convince you that science says a big no. That's it for the video, guys. If you liked what you saw, make sure you subscribe to our channel and also press that notification bell. See you at the next one.